I'm a flight risk. I don't think they're ready for the shit. Take a flight to Cali for the bid. They don't ever wanna see me win. That's a lot of conversation.
That's my 10th bit of work. So guys, thanks for tuning in to another Yarns Spotlight. This is the juicy ones where we just really hone in on some topics. This week's going to be a really good one. We've got a special guest dropping by to tell us about their amazing goodwill gesture that they've decided to do. So we're going to talk about that first, and then coming up we're just going to discuss the bombshell that's dropped over the last couple of days, which is Sean Wales from Four Wheel Drive 24/7 backing Hip Camp with the decision that one of the local councils is trying to basically shut down hip camps around this area. So we're going to get into a debate about that, and it's going to be interesting because I don't think I'm going to be on the same side as all of you guys. So look forward to that. I'll go get our special guest. Okay guys, so I'm back. Look who's back with me, and Mumma G's come back to a second go. I obviously didn't scare you off.
No. Yeah, well, I got that call from you and I went, yeah, okay, why not?
Yeah, I just think with the video you put up on Sunday, it was something that was worthwhile sharing and talking about. And as I said to you, we were going to do it in an actual main Yarns episode on a Wednesday, but I felt it was more of a spotlight topic.
Yeah, definitely, to bring awareness out there. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about your video on Sunday, and then you and I will also have a debate about the Sean Wales post that he put up.
Yep, sure.
For Hip Camp Australia, which will be pretty interesting because I can't wait to see your view and see if it changes with what I have to say.
Yes, that'll be interesting.
But let's get into it. Topic 1 is your video. So do you want to fill everyone in who may not have seen your video? What's actually happened?
Yeah, Sunday morning I put a video together because we had a bit of a scare with my darling Steve, and he's had 2 heart attacks. He's totally fine. He's been very lucky that he's been given a second chance. So from that, he's managing it, and he will be okay. But because we camp remotely, and it made me think, what can we do out there to help our loved ones or strangers? And the first thing I wanted to bring an awareness was to the Good Sam app. So if you have CPR... Oh, sorry?
Yeah, which I had no idea. You would think they would teach it in the first aid course that this app exists.
Well, to be honest, I think they may have. I think they may have mentioned it, but it's just come to light now. But so many people don't know about it. And so this app, if you're trained in CPR, you register, and should someone go into sudden cardiac arrest around you, you'll get a ping on your phone to ask, can you assist? And you can choose yes or no, depending on where you are and what you're doing. But is
it only cardiac arrest, or if they need any first aid response?
Well, it's for CPR. So, if a child has a water incident and stops breathing. So it's someone
What about snake bite?
Yeah, you have to do the CPR. Now, there's a lot of professions out there that do mandatory training, which I do where I work. If you work in the education department, I know in New South Wales, you have to do a course every year. So I put it out
in Queensland.
I put it out there to our followers to consider registering, because one day it may save you or save one of your loved ones by having someone nearby. Because the importance of starting CPR within 3 minutes of someone having, stopped breathing, the survival rate increases. But after that 3 minutes, every minute you lose 10% chance of survival. So it's so important for people to know how to do CPR. In addition to that, which I said on my video on Sunday, was having a defib. A defib will increase your survival rate up to like 74%.
Which is massive.
Absolutely.
Huge.
So my desire was to get a defib on board for us, because I've been worried about Steve, and then I'm also could be at risk, and anyone around us. So I actually have peace of mind now because I've gone and got the defib. And I contacted Defibrillators Australia, and they have offered $1,000 off. Like, defibs aren't cheap, but there's a very special price that you can go in. I don't know if you'll put the QR code up that people can...
Yeah, if you give me the QR code, I'll be able to chuck it up, and then the link will be in the description as well.
Okay, and the other thing was that we need to get more defibrillators accessible in Australia, and I think the government knows that, because in South Australia on the 1st of Jan 2026, businesses with premises 600 square metres and larger will be required to get one, and New South Wales are going to follow, and yes, we're hoping the rest of the states will too. Also things like daycares and of course aged care and retirement. There's a whole list of places that will be required to get a defib, and I sort of put it out there, if you actually have a business and you are a road tripper, why not get it? You could also have it at your business, but when you're actually out and about camping, you could have it with you too. So yeah, I just want
even if you're feeling like it's something you want to make a difference in the world, if somebody's carrying it, like I think you said you're going to put a sticker or something on your car saying that you've got a defib in there.
Yeah, look, I was, and then I've actually had some people say don't put it on the sticker on your car because they think people may break in and take it, which I don't know. I was a bit surprised at that, but...
Okay, so you guys comment below, because I'm taken back. I didn't think anybody would have any interest in stealing a defib. I guess maybe the kids these days, they are not the best, and they may think it's funny to steal a defib and shock each other. But I think if they shocked one person, that would be it. That'd be a big trouble.
Well, if they realise how expensive they are, maybe that's why they're trying to get their hands on it.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, like whether or not while we're travelling I actually put something on the car.
Because you'll be with your car most of the time. You could put an air tag in with it.
Oh, yeah, right. Yes. I have just been told about the air tag yesterday, so I might do that.
So if the unlikelihood somebody does steal it, well, then at least you can track it down, and then you're going to do two good deeds. You're going to send somebody to jail for theft, and you're going to be carrying a defib.
Yeah, and the defib, I'll show you, I've got it here. It's not that big, if you can see that. I won't lift the lid because as soon as you lift the lid, it starts to tell you what to do, and that's why I love this. This was purposely designed for the general public, and it is fully automated and tells you what to do. It's got pictures of where to put the pads on the body. It comes with a kit, like a razor blade and scissors if you need to take someone's clothes off to get those pads on, and if they're hairy.
Do yours, because only some of them do kids as well, right? Does yours do kids as well as adults?
Yeah, so this one can do children. There's a special button that you can press to get it to know that you're actually doing CPR on a child. The other thing is that I mentioned on Sunday in our videos, it also does large people. Not all of them are as powerful as this one, and I think that's why there's an extra switch for children. And, you know, like to be, you know, if something happened and the panic that would come with it, it's peace of mind to actually have this thing to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
And if it can help someone survive, it's definitely worth, I think, getting it, and especially like our age. But, I mean, anything could happen to anyone, any age. And
I think it's a beautiful thing you're doing, travelling, carrying it with you on the road. So, like, as you said, not just for you guys, but for others as well. If something happens, you're going to have literally a tool that gives 75% more chance.
Yeah, 70, yeah, up to 70. Well, 74, but I think 75, 74, 75. But definitely.
Which is remarkable for you to, do that. And then to then work out a discount code. So if other businesses want to get it or other patrons want to get it and carry it in their car, what was it, $1,000 off?
$1,000 off. So I think it's normally like $2,995 and it's down to $1,995. I think
what?
That's right.
Because when you said, oh, they're not cheap, I was thinking, okay, $1,000 off, you're saying not cheap. It's going to be like a 10 grand machine.
But you know
Man, that's a whopping discount.
But it also costs, with the discount, it costs as much as it costs to put a diesel heater in your Caravan. So
that's true.
you know, we spend so much money on all our things,
electrical, all that sort of stuff.
yeah, for our lifestyle. So to me, this is actually the most important thing I think we can have in our caravan. So for us, you know, we're really happy that we've got this now, and I just want to put it out there. And a lot of people, the response has been beautiful. I've had so many
I was about
messages.
to ask you that. Has anybody bought one yet or registered to this, what is it, I Love Sam app or Sam?
Many people have registered to Good Sam, and look, I'm blown away. It's fantastic. And I had an email from Defibrillators Australia saying that they are selling, people are buying the defibs. So,
Which is beautiful. Well done.
yeah, thank you. Well, yeah, I'm pretty stoked with that, you know, and that just means there's more out there to
And
assist people.
I know my demographic, majority of them are the 50 plus. I think I'm sitting at like 80 something percent are 50 plus, who are the ones that are going to need the defib. So I'd love for some of my subscribers to sit there and hopefully think it's a good investment to spend $1,000 whatever dollars it is with your discount and actually put another defib on the road.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of people, you know, as you're getting older, there are some issues that, you know about health-wise. I mean, if you watch our channel, gibbosroadtripadventures, but I better slip that in, you'll just see that we're every day over 55s, a bit further than that, but having the time of our life, and we're not going to let it stop because of fear, but we've now got that peace of mind. So,
And even one of my subscribers commented on my latest video saying, make sure we discuss your video.
I really appreciate that. That's lovely.
So it shows that your message is definitely getting across there, and that's why I thought, it deserves its own space where we can actually have a good chat about it, to get the message out there. So thank you for coming on and actually agreeing to talk about it, I think it's amazing.
Well, I appreciate you allowing me to do this, because I did actually tag a lot of big YouTubers out there, hoping that they might just share it on their story. But that's fine, they didn't. But yeah,
it is a funny space, isn't it? Because when I first started going down the charity route, I thought same thing. Okay, they're going to get behind. What harm is it them getting behind and supporting a smaller channel that's trying to do something good?
Yeah.
But it's a funny space, isn't it? We have discussed it in the past that it's very sort of close knit, and people don't like sort of that co-sharing.
This topic affects four-wheel drivers, boating people, camping or caravanning. So it is a wonderful community out there. And yeah, I think people have really appreciated sort of like a bit of a wake up or awareness. And even today, someone at my work was saying they watched the video and they'd been thinking for some time now to get a defib. And she said, we're definitely going to get one now. So, and this one that we've got, it's got an 8-year warranty on it, which is pretty good.
What? 8 years?
Yeah, so I think the battery on it might be a 4-year warranty. And if you use your pads, obviously you would have to replace them at some point. So there is a wearing point on it. But, I mean, 8 years, that'll take us into the golden years. So, yeah.
No, I think it's a beautiful thing you're doing. And, I think it's really good. I'll have your video also in the description.
Okay,
and I'll also probably put a QR code. It would have appeared by now where people can actually click through and watch your video as well.
Yeah, there's a second QR code too. Maybe you can pop that in the description, like a link to, like for a business, they also sell a waterproof and dustproof case. It is quite big, so for travellers, it might be a little bit too big. But this case that it comes in is, pretty secure anyway. But for a business, the case is bright yellow, so it'd be an easy one to find. Yeah. So I think that's it for me. And I hope people take it on board and have a little think about it. And if you don't do a course on CPR, at least Google or look it up on YouTube and just watch how to do it, just to give you a bit of an idea. Should something happen, you've at least had a refresher.
Did you get taught a song to play in your head to keep up with the beat?
staying alive.
Yeah, that's what I got taught as well.
Yeah, so that one has stuck. So I definitely will have that going through my head.
But when the last time I did the course, we got taught that you don't do the mouth-to-mouth anymore.
No, yeah, the same. I only did my course, I think it was the 19th of December, and they don't do that anymore. You do actually get a mouth piece in this kit as well, should you wish to also apply that.
But yeah, they found that the heart's the most important, keeping that heart beating.
Absolutely. Yeah, so anyway, let's hope we save some lives from this, shout out.
Wouldn't that be amazing? So should we get on to the second topic?
Sure.
Which I've actually had so you and I haven't talked about it yet, so I don't know where you're going to fall on it.
Yeah.
And I've had some discussions already today. I think I'm up to 3 or 4 people I've spoken to. We had lunch with one of Ash's friends. And yeah, it's quite divisive. So I'll play a clip now of Sean Wales' post that he put up.
Okay.
And then we'll have a chat about it.
Sure.
I'm not sure if a lot of you guys are aware, but at the moment there's a lot of restrictions that are being placed on hip camps in southeast Queensland. Now we use hip camps, I know a lot of you guys do too, offer some of the best camping in southeast Queensland, without a doubt. It's where basically landowners allow us as campers, four-wheel drivers, to go and camp on their land. So as you can imagine, some fantastic spots. What's happening, and it's often the case in this country, is council gets involved, put a lot of red tape down and make it very expensive, to the point where a lot of hip camps are actually shutting down because all this red tape just means it's too hard and too expensive for them to open up their land to campers. And I see this style of camping to be potentially the future in our country, and it opens so much more of the country up to us. So if you could do us a favour and jump on the link below, it's a petition. We need your help, and hopefully we can save camping on private land in this country.
So as you guys would have seen there, he's put up a post for, I don't know if it was for himself, so it was put up originally on the 4Drive 24/7 Facebook page. I couldn't find out who was behind the petition, but it's basically, he's put up a video because the scenic rim, which you also don't know this, Mumma G, Ash's mum's farm that we go to with all the cows, it's actually around that exact area where their farm is where all the hip camps are that are being shut down around Christmas Creek. And what it is, so the cow, in Queensland, in the scenic rim, so out sort of at the back of the Gold Coast, it's all that sort of out that area is where that local council is now. I'm going to say you can smell there's probably influence. So they're now coming on and saying that every hip camp needs to get a DA to fall in line with campgrounds.
Right.
So to me, I'm smelling that we all know the travelling sector is starting to slow down. And I reckon since COVID, caravan parks, bed and breakfasts, and any of those sort of camping areas that did have DAs and were set up as a proper business didn't care so much about hip campers. They were probably fully booked anyway.
Right.
Versus now they're starting to probably slow down, and they're probably putting pressure on the council out there saying, we've had to pay for a DA. And if you read, I'll have links in the description for the petition and for the ABC article.
Right.
A DA costs between 40,000 and 100 grand. So every national park and every bed and breakfast has had to pay that DA for them to operate.
Oh my goodness.
Hip camps don't pay it. The DA then also, obviously, they come out and they inspect your property, make sure it's fit for camping on.
Right.
So a big one is the article's leaning into farmers that are out there. So how do you know if you're going to one of these hip camps, if you're camping on a paddock that's been sprayed with carcinogenic pesticides? So anybody that doesn't know what carcinogenic means, that basically it'll give you cancer. If you camp on that grass with that pesticide, you will get cancer. Not may, you will. It's now, so what is it, the really popular pesticide in America now has to have a warning, you will get cancer from this, which we all use in Australia. So campgrounds, so caravan parks and bed and breakfasts can't use certain sprays because of the DA. It doesn't give them the permission. But farmers with a hip camp can spray whatever they want. So to me, I'm not signing the petition, and I'm all for hip camps having to fall in line. I think there is these DAs and stuff in place to protect protect the community. We want to know where we're camping is safe. We want to know that the person's house that we're camping at, that they're not pedophiles and they don't have a criminal record for murder. Hip Camp doesn't check any of that. I was a Hip Camp host and there's no police check. There's no blue card that you need. So for me, a DA, I have no problem with it. The price is too much, but I'm all for. What's your thoughts on it?
Well, I didn't see this coming, actually. I never even thought of that myself.
But that's why I wanted you on.
Yeah, well,
because there's no point in just having one view. I want you to have your view as well and tell people your thoughts.
Yeah, look, I feel for the farmers opening up their farms to allow us to stay, and we do stay in hip camps. We camp like free or low cost. Some hip camps are ridiculous with what they charge. But generally, like, we've just met some lovely people and they're not after your money. They open up their property, they get a little bit of pocket money, but when you think about what they actually make out of it, because they've got to give a cut to hip camp, these people are slashing their grass to allow you an area to camp, and quite often they supply some firewood as well. So how much are they actually making from letting you stay on their property? That's my thing for the farmers. They do it bloody tough, that I think to then have this other thing happening where you've got to... I understand that you should be approved, I suppose.
Yep.
But to...
So do you agree? Do we agree that maybe the DA should have to happen, but it's just the price, the 40 grand? That's like 10 years of hip camping to pay back the 40 grand.
That's ridiculous. That's just not... no wonder, they'd pull out of offering their properties. Like, who's going to pay that?
So would you be all for a DA saying, yeah, everybody that does hip camp should fall in line? The bed and breakfasts and the caravan parks have had to do it.
Right.
But maybe 2 grand to cover, that should cover the fee of somebody from the council coming out to inspect.
I don't know. The last hip camp we stayed at was only just a couple of weeks ago, and it was a lovely little family with three young children, and they're doing it tough, doing multiple jobs.
Children could have been kidnapped, and they could have been murderers.
Oh, Dylan, I don't think so. I don't think so. But there's genuine nice people out there that have opened up their beautiful properties for us to stay, and if we don't want to go to a caravan park and don't want to go into a hip camp, into a Airbnb, look, yes, there should be some checks, but shouldn't hip camp be responsible for that?
So I agree. I reckon, so same with Uber. To do Uber, you've got to upload a police check. How hard would it be for hip camp to say, okay, we want you to upload a police check, and because there's going to be children at your house and you're going to be interacting with them, we also want you to get a blue card. Or what's yours? Is yours a blue card in New South Wales as well?
I'm not too sure about that, but...
Yours are working with children's check.
Yeah, it's like about $80, and it covers 5 years.
Yep. So I don't think that's too much to ask. So that way the people that are running it 100% have no criminal record, and the children check is a really big deep dive. They get access to a lot more information, like actual charges that have been dropped.
Right.
So I wouldn't mind the working with children. That way 100% you know where you're staying, there's a good chance. The argument that was brought up by Ash's friend, what happens if they bring an uncle around that has a criminal record?
What if they took their uncle to a caravan park? Or
that's what she said. Yep.
You can't monitor everything, like, you know.
So that was her argument for what I said. She said, oh, no, you don't know who's anywhere. What about if there's a murderer in the caravan next to you?
Yes. You've got a very vivid imagination.
But, that was her argument, saying, oh, who cares about making them get a police check? You don't know who anybody is on the road. Yeah.
Look, I don't know. Like, I've not really thought of this, but
It's a really interesting one, isn't it? To really unpack.
I'd love the people watching this. If you've got some views on this, put it in the comments below.
And as I said, as I said in the intro, I think there's a lot of people who wouldn't have been thinking as you were when I started talking, going, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And the big one for me is a business. There's plenty of people watching this that probably have a business, And imagine if you had to have a license for your business and then all of a sudden an app opened up, people could do your exact business from home and undercut the shit out of you
Yeah.
because they don't have to buy the expensive license. So the taxis was the one that really came to mind, the taxis and the Uber,
Right.
where the taxi drivers had to have it was $100,000 taxi license they had to buy. Uber came out and the taxi license became worthless, became toilet paper.
Right.
So then the taxi drivers did a class action lawsuit against the government. They ended up, I believe they won, got a big settlement and got back paid all their money for the licenses. And then now Uber drivers have to get a driver's authority.
Right.
So Uber drivers do have to pay something to be able to be an Uber driver, same as taxi drivers have to pay.
Right.
And that's where I said, that's where I reckon it should end up. Everyone will have to get a DA. It'll just be cheaper for hip campers because they won't have as many camp spots.
Yeah, but who's going to pay that fee for the DA? I just think there's got to be a better way.
I would, me being a hip camper, I would pay the $1,000. I would increase my hip camping fees, and I think that's what you will see. The hip camping fees would go up if everybody has to get a DA.
Yeah, I've got to say,
to help.
With hip camps, we would not pay more than say $60, and that would be around peak season where everywhere is quite
See,
busy.
I thought that's expensive. My hip camp was $15.
Right. Well, in saying that, like I said, that's sort of an extreme. $30 a night, yeah, I think that's fine too. But like I said, the amount of effort there in a farmer's working day to come and have to slash this whole area, and some of them even give you eggs and whatnot. So,
the other big one we haven't talked about
like,
is also for the farmers. So the ones that are farmers doing it, their properties actually have to be a biosecurity. So the paddocks that people are using for camping can't be used for a fair few weeks for the cows because of the biosecurity.
Oh, really? Wow.
So they're legitimately giving up a paddock for hip camping. They can't rotate if they're doing proper cows for selling for big, it's their big main business. And yeah, there's all biosecurity stuff in place, which is why when you go to certain places in Australia and you're going on a shared road, it has lots of stuff about biosecurity. Please call the farmer and get approval to come in, because you can literally kill their cows, which is what happened. Ash and I had to go out. You would have seen the posts I did of the cows. We were out there making sure they got a disease somehow brought into the property and it went through all the cows.
Oh, really?
So it is something it's another big thing for them to even do it. It is a risk for them for their livestock as well.
Right. Oh, yeah, look, see, for me, a city slicker, totally unaware of that. And
You know what's funny? As I'm sitting here, I've actually got my big cowboy hat on. I come from you, same as you. As you know, I come from Cronulla. I'm a city slicker as well.
There you go. I don't have my lucky hat on today. Of course, I've come from work. I'm not out there having the fun that I really want to have. But I think if you start making it very, very hard for the hip camps, then they're not going to happen. And then, I haven't seen a slump in camping. I think it's so busy now. It's, like COVID has totally changed how things were. I'd like to rewind, before COVID, the way it used to be, because everyone just went out and bought caravans and every other type of rooftop, and which is fantastic because if you enjoy it, it's one of the best hobbies, I think.
I've got a question for you.
We're
Because
addicted.
Caravans by the Campfire came up and on his way through, he stopped in and actually just had a chat with me. And he was gobsmacked by the amount of caravans in Queensland versus New South Wales. Have you found the same?
Look, I don't know. Steve and I try and avoid the crowds. We do tend to find the places that are less busy, and we like to be by ourselves. So, there's always going to be the people that love the caravan parks. You love the caravan parks, don't you?
No,
Dan?
what's funny? Now we've flipped. So our Cape York trip, I think every second night we're in a caravan park, but I'm only doing it so we can plug into air conditioning. I actually hate caravan parks.
Right. Well, see, we don't have aircon, so there's no point.
Yeah, so for you, there's 100% no point.
Yeah, we just go off grid. We don't have a microwave, an air fryer.
Yep.
We do have a inverter, and I do use a little rice cooker, and my NutriBullet to make my margaritas. So,
But for camping, I'm 100% the same as you. For camping, no, I want to be as remote as I can be. I want to have no reception. I want to have no people around me, and I want to unplug and recharge.
yeah,
But
that's right.
yeah, to me, I've now come to realise I think caravanning and camping are two different things. But it sounds like you're doing caravanning with your camping.
Yeah, well, we live outside. We sleep inside. Occasionally, we'll just, use the inverter, which that's where I've got to go to plug in to cook. But I know a lot of people are poo-pooing cooking gas in the caravans, and I love it. Like, we've still got the same portable little gas from Kmart that I can sit by the fire with Steve and cook something. So I
would
love
never
gas.
go full electric inside. Imagine if you had a week of rain, no solar, and your only option is an inverter and then induction cooktop. Like, you'd be paranoid to cook. You'd be sitting there going, okay, what can we make that doesn't use the cooktop?
Yeah, that's right. Like, I think it's a backup even, know. So anyway, this was supposed to be a spotlight,
Quick one.
not a
So we'll leave it there. So yeah, you guys comment below on both topics, your defibrillator and the 4Drive 24/7 petition. It'll be a really saucy one, and I'm looking forward to seeing what everyone has to say. And thank you so much for coming on.
I want to say, please consider registering for Good Sam. If you know CPR, it costs you nothing to save a life.
Yeah, that should be a minimum. So everybody should be registering to the app, and then I would love for some people to buy some defibrillators.
Yeah, definitely. Have a think.
Yep.
So thanks for having me on, Dylan.
That's all right, and thank you for coming on. And to everyone else, like, comment, subscribe on both of our channels.
Yeah. See you.
See ya.